Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the Daily SPY Report for Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021. Before I jump into the charts, just want to remind you briefly to please click like if you like the video analysis you're seeing, and subscribe. Subscribing to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel will provide you notifications by YouTube each and every time a new daily SPY report is ready for your viewing. And as the name implies, it is a daily report, and it's typically ready to view by around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Chicago, each and every evening ahead of the next trading day. Let's jump into the charts here real quick. Just once again, a reminder of the longer-term dynamic remains bullish clearly inside this channel structure, the base of which is 419.55. The top is 471.34, a long-term trend line that did contain the September highs back in September, of course. And in the interim, about almost 3 weeks ago, October 14th, we had a 3 to 5 week buy signal above those convergent formations that are now in the mid to upper 430s. Let's move on to the nearer term because we have had several buy signals, secondary buy signals on the way up. Most notably, this channel top that we settled above a couple of weeks ago at 456.88. And it is backed up by a new channel bottom that is short-term in scope based on yesterday's high and the high from about a week ago at 457.59. So this is kind of a narrow range, less than a point wide, of support that can contain selling for the week itself, and above which we should, over the next week or two, let's just say by the end of next week, reach that targeted 471.34 area. On the way up, we have 463.66. That may be in reach today. We're not far off that mark. We missed it by a little over a point on Tuesday. It is there in reach today, can contain session strength, and if we close above 463.66 today, that targeted 471.34 long-term trend line is then likely over the next several trading days, or in other words, possibly by Friday's close. And inside that 456.88 to 463.66 area for the day, we still have, a soft pivot point, I'll put it, at 461.44. That is that former channel bottom that performed well over the last week until yesterday when we pushed through it. Once we pushed through it, and we did so early in the day, it was at 460.93 yesterday. It did perform pretty well in sort of indicating the upward bias through the rest of the day, and we never really came back to test it to the downside once we pushed through it. That 460.93 is, as you see on this chart, 461.44 today. Let's take a look at the support resistance level. Sometimes it makes more sense to see things in print. You've got the 456.88 to 57.59 area I showed you, that former channel top and that new channel bottom, able to contain selling through the week, and above which we should, over the next few days, reach that 463.66 level, and by the end of next week, as I said earlier, the 471.34 long-term trend line. On the way up, we've got the 463.66 level that is in reach today and can contain session strength. And if we do close above 463.66, we should then reach that 471.34 trend line over the next few days. And as I show you also on those charts, we have a soft pivot point today at that former channel bottom at 461.41. It can contain initial selling pressures, but we are right there. We're trading just above it. So the question is whether we open above it or open below it. I wouldn't read too heavily into that. If we did open below 461.41, I don't think it means the floor will drop out. You do have minor points on the way down. For those of you who are watching, who haven't been watching, for only a few days, I should probably remind you that the minor points are all carefully chosen and they're well suited for aggressive day traders. It is the emboldened levels the 2-star levels, that 63, 66 above, anything that is emboldened is either session containment, a better part of a week containment, weekly containment. I have them weighted with a star system. And the more stars there are, the more significant they are in terms of longer-term trend identification, and the more meaningful they are in terms of their containment ability. And so really here, as I said a moment ago, holding above that 456.88 area will keep the 471.34 trend line in reach by the end of next week. And if we close today above 463.66, we should actually reach that over the next few days. That 471.34 long-term trend line, able to contain buying through next week, quite possibly through November trade. We could fall off from there, but other indexes, most notably the Dow or the DIA, is in the process of violating significant overhead resistance and may be indicating its own long-term buy signal by the end of this week, which would prompt me to sort of lighten up a bit on that 471.34 trend line. Instead of a monthly containment, we'll just say weekly containment, possibly monthly containment. You never really know how things play out over time. But 471.34 would be reduced in significance if the DIA shows a long-term buy signal at the end of this week. And you can see that on that weekly video I put out over the weekend on the DIA, QQQ, and IWM. Let's talk downside today. I'm going to say that if we close below 456.88, because I think breaking it on an intraday basis, I don't think that's in the cards. I mean, it certainly may happen. And if we do break 456.88, we should fall to the 454.05 high from September on an intraday basis. But if we close below 456.88, I would expect over the next few days, 1 to 3 days, so it could be tomorrow, could be by Friday's close, I would expect that 450.94 to 451.42 area, that is a rising 1/3 speed line and channel bottom off of the late September, early October low area. It can contain selling through next week. So if we happen to test it, tomorrow or Friday, it could contain selling through next week. And in fact, holding above the 450.94 to 451.42 area maintains a 2 to 3 week upside objective at that 471.34 trend line. And really not until we close below that 450.94 to 51.42 area do I see a good high for the month of November. We should then, over the following couple of weeks, fall back to that 437.64 to 438.91 midterm support region, which by that point in time may well contain selling into, if not through, December activity. I think that pretty much sums it up. I'll leave you with the support and resistance for today. Just know that 463.66 can contain session highs, and if we close above it, that targeted 471.34 is potentially in reach by Friday's close, where we could top out through next week, possibly the month of November. And downside, if tested, the 456.88 to 57.59 area can contain selling through the rest of the week, and above which we should, by the end of next week, reach that 471.34 long-term trend line. And that is all I've got for Wednesday's Daily SPY Report. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe. Please tell your friends about it. Pass the link around. And I think that that's all that really needs to be said for Wednesday's Daily SPY. I will talk to you tomorrow for Thursday's Daily SPY Report.